Cutting is the act of changing your traversal direction. It's the equivalent of doing something like a crossover in basketball, a step over in soccer, or a juke in football. Though cutting can be understood by someone that has very little experience with Star Citizen, I highly recommend going through my playlist and going through my other tutorials that covers more in-depth techniques that develop into cutting. I'll link them below in the description box if you haven't seen them before. With that out of the way, let's get into cutting. Whenever you perform a cut, I highly recommend that you try to use the bottom thrusters of your ship, as the bottom thrusters provide the most power. Though some of these cuts can be initiated from a lateral position, you usually want to prioritize using the bottom thrusters to perform the cut. The most basic form of cutting would be a reversal cut. This is when you're moving in a certain direction and you flip the opposite way to go against that direction. This is also the hardest form of cut to use effectively, as using it at high speeds is very dangerous and makes you very easy to hit. It is only preferable to do this when you're engaging at slower speeds. The second form of cut would be the linear cut. This cut is done by just changing to a 90-degree angle. Let's take for example right strafe. All I would have to do from this position is just apply upward strafe, as my ship is already facing in the correct position to perform a 90-degree angle change. The final cut is the 45-degree cut. These micro adjustments are the best for changing your traversal direction as fast as possible. I often use these to mix up my circle strafes as I try to push into an opponent or evade some shots. Now I don't want you to think of the turn as the cut, but rather the change in your vector as the cut. Let's take a look at my vector so we can get a better idea of what's going on. I'm going to apply a little bit of forward thrust just to get my vector in front of our view, and then I'm going to strafe to the right. Now of course I'm moving a little forward, but I only want you to think of this as I'm moving to the right. If I strafe up, you'll now see my vector align 45 degrees angle relative to my last position. And if we strafe down, we could bring it down to 45 degrees relative to the horizontal plane again. If I wanted to perform a 90-degree cut, I would have to strafe in this direction. Conversely, if I wanted to go downwards at a 90 degrees relative to my original position, I would have to go this way. Now that we've reset and you understand how this works, you guessed it, 180 would be as simple as swapping from one direction to the complete opposite direction. The only reason I show these cuts with rolls is because I want to use the bottom thrusters to apply these turns much more quickly. Now that you know all the techniques, let's go into a little bit of combat and show you how I apply these in action. Just remember that angle changes are relative to the direction of travel, not the ship's direction. The first clip is very fast paced, so make sure to look at the vector to help you understand what's going on. I'll also have some text on the bottom right to indicate when I'm applying the technique. And don't forget to slow down the video if it helps you in any way. That's it for this video, and thanks for watching. As always, if any of these videos ever become outdated, I will update it in the description along with the title. Till the next one.